You want to know what Ocarina of Time did really well? Like, the best thing about it? Its story structure and its world building. That game is a landmark in video game storytelling, and that should be celebrated. After my initial experiences with Ocarina as a 10-year-old, I would later discover that it was held in pretty high regard by many Zelda fans, or just video game fans all over the internet. But as the years went by, I noticed that Ocarina sort of lost some of the reverence surrounding it, mostly thanks to people who think it's a total piece of garbage. And for me, looking back, I think it's one of my least favorite Zeldas from a gameplay perspective at least. But I'd still recommend it over any other Zelda to a newcomer to the series. And I do that because of how much I love its story structure and its world building. It actually has a similar structure to many other games, most notably RPGs. The game is very clearly divided into distinct sections, generally with a clear beginning and end to each, and each section introduces new locales, NPCs, and items, helping the game's world and mechanics feel new as you progress. Visit an exotic and dangerous new location to explore the dungeon, beat the boss, and collect the magical colored treasure. Once you have the full rainbow of treasures, you can usually face off against the main villain. Ocarina of Time may be criticized for many of its now archaic elements, but its story and world are based off common archetypes we're all used to thanks to years of bedtime stories. You know, stories about underdog heroes who go on epic quests to train and collect the tools they need to slay the villain. I think that really plays a big role in why the game is so fondly remembered by so many. But most of the other Zeldas follow this format as well. Even some of the Mario RPGs follow this format. Why is Ocarina so unique? Well, the one thing that really puts the game over the top is its midway climax, where Link physically transforms into an adult, forcing the player to grow up as well. Well, mentally at least. And prepare for the chaos that was wrought upon the world that they grew to love. But this climax wouldn't be effective if the player wasn't attached to the world. So Ocarina uses some brilliant funneling techniques to help the player learn more about the people and the places of the kingdom they will eventually save. Ocarina is carefully structured so that you have to visit each place in the game at least once. The game carefully funnels the player through all the locations of the game where friendly NPCs live, which helps the player appreciate the kingdom that they will eventually be forced to save. The game has various points where players have to talk to certain shopkeepers or villagers, which forces the player to interact with things and learn more about them. At one point, players must visit Lake Hylia to find a message in a bottle before they can enter the third dungeon. There's no reason to be at Lake Hylia other than to get that bottle, but I mean, you're already there, why don't you explore a bit, go talk to some people, maybe explore the fishing place. The only location that isn't mandatory in the game is Lon Lon Ranch, and a brilliant gameplay decision actually helps funnel players towards it as well. When you first leave Kokiri Forest, your instructions are to head to Hyrule Castle, but you can only enter it in the day. The game purposely starts the day late enough so that if you dawdled around at all, you're not going to make it to the castle in time. And that leaves you with, I don't know, zombies? Where's the nearest safe haven? Oh, Lon Lon Ranch. That is good game design. Once the player has spent enough time as a child getting to know the world, Ocarina's ballsy but intelligent power play is how it changes the tone of the game so drastically in the span of 10 minutes. You go from a fairly peaceful kingdom where all the races live in harmony to a ruined land where zombies roam and whole races are almost made extinct. Ocarina spends its first 3 chapters introducing the player to the Kokiri, the Gorons, and the Zoras, only to have the Kokiri village overrun by monsters, the Gorons imprisoned and eaten, and the Zoras frozen. Hyrule Castletown, what was once a safe haven and the source of order in the land, is decimated and crawling with corpses of people you may have met as a child. Leaving the Temple of Time as an adult is one of my favorite moments in any video game, as it lets you know that the prologue is over. You are the hero Hyrule needs, but you will have to work hard to achieve this. And despite the terrible state that Hyrule is in, you persevere because you love that world. You grew up in this world and you will be the one to save it. It has a simple narrative structure, and its races and locations are all variations of familiar archetypes that most of us grew up with from fantasy stories. But it is also layered with a diverse cast of supporting characters and a fantastic sense of pacing and world structure. And with that said, what is your favorite aspect of Ocarina of Time? I'd love to hear yours. By the way, it would really help me out if you check out my other videos. If you want to see me review another fantasy game, I talked about LEGO Lord of the Rings recently. Also, my friends and I are doing a Let's Play of Super Paper Mario on another channel. If you want to check any of that stuff out, then give it a click, and if not, then thanks for watching anyway, and please have a great day.